Okay.
I'm painting.
I see you're playing it. What are you gonna say? Say.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this
episode
of Baking with Babies. And we are celebrating Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. So we are wishing everyone well. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. And we thought we would make some very special bread this weekend. What are we making?
Wheating bread.
Oh, no, wheat bread.
Challah bread.
Challah bread. You were singing and playing about challah bread at the very beginning. We're making challah bread, so a really lovely sweet bread that's sweetened not with sugar but with honey, which is one of our favorite things. Who makes honey? Who makes honey? The what?
Bees.
The bees. Yes, they do. Dusting the pollen from off their knees. Yep. And in addition to Rosh Hashanah, we're also celebrating a really fantastic, wonderful force of nature. Some people would call her notorious. Who's on Mama's borrowing Lilo's shirt? Who's on Mama's shirt or Lilo's shirt? Who is this?
What's your honor?
What, remember?
Rosa.
Not Rosa, not Rosa.
Bird.
Yeah! She was amazing. She was an absolutely fantastic force of nature. Regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum, she did some amazingly tremendous things, so we are celebrating her today as well. Alrighty, we're going to get you started. Yeah.
Wheating bread?
I'm not making wheaten bread. What are you making?
Challah bread.
I'm making challah bread. And what ingredients are we going to use today? Salt and oil and what's in here? Flour and yeast and water and our favorite. What's in here?
Oil.
Oh, the oil's back here. This is
Honey.
honey. Okay, so we're gonna get you started. This is a yeast-based dough, obviously, so that we're gonna do this in stages because we'll have to give it time to rise in between. But we're gonna get you started to make the dough itself. So we're gonna pour our lukewarm water. The dough, we have to make the dough. Can you help me make the dough? Okay. So we're gonna get you started. This is a yeast-based bread. So we're gonna do things in stages so that we give time for the dough to rise. And this is a recipe that we got from the King Arthur Flour Company. We love King Arthur Flour Company. And we've tried some other challah bread recipes and they were okay, but this is the one you want to stick with. It's absolutely delicious and you're never gonna want to buy challah bread from the store again. So, all right, let's start with our flour. We need 4 cups of all-purpose flour. A little one. All right, 4 cups. Can you help me pour this in?
A little one.
And which one? Do you want some in your little one? Okay. Mom will pour this one and you pour that one in? Nice job. All right, so that's 1. 2. You need some in yours? Here you go. You go, pour yours in. 2. It's after 2. It's after 2. 1, 2, 3, and 1 more.
Mama, pour it.
Want some in this one? And 4. 4. Very nice. And after you pour your flour in, you're going to add some salt. So 1.5 teaspoons of salt. We're using sea salt, but regular salt is just as good.
Wait,
Sea salt.
Regular salt.
And regular salt. Can you help me pour this in? Feel okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Can you help me pour it in? So 1, and then we need 1/2 teaspoon. All right, this one. And pour that in, and then I'm gonna mix those together. mix those together. Nice job. So the dry ingredients of this part, the flour and the salt, you're gonna mix together, and you're almost gonna make a well in the center because that's where the wet ingredients are going to go. So should we mix with our hands? It's always kind of more fun to mix with our hands, isn't it? So just make sure that's the salt is well mixed in there. Alrighty. So you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna set that aside, and you're gonna take a separate bowl. You technically don't need to make it a separate bowl, but it's sometimes it's a bit nice for the yeast, because you're gonna take your warm water and pour that in here. Help me pour that in. Whoops, thank you. We might have to get a little bit more. All right, and then you're going to add some yeast, a tablespoon of instant yeast. All right. Bring that over, pour that in. Nice and soft. I'm just gonna kind of give that a mix there, and set that aside. Oh, not with the flour yet, not with the flour. You're gonna let that just kind of mix in and dissolve. Nice job. All right, and we'll set that aside, and we'll put that into our dry mixture in just a moment. All right, help me close that up. Nice job. Alrighty, and then what do we need here? Eggs.
Okay.
So you need 2 large eggs.
Mama, would you like to crack them?
I would like to crack them, but we're gonna crack them in here first before we put them in there. Can you help me? Can you help me?
Mom, please crack on your own.
Okay. Alrighty, can you help me open them?
Mama,
Mama do it today? Okay.
you do it like the one today.
You'll do the other one today? Okay, you do that one. All right, remember you have to hold it carefully and clunk it till you hear it crack. Keep going. Ah, did you hear it? Yeah. All right, and bring it over top. Nice job, dude. All right, and we'll mix them up in the bowl.
Mama, I need to do it on my own.
We would like to do it on your own, please?
I need
Yes, please.
to bake the yolk too.
Break the yolks up? You go for it, dude. Our expert egg cracker over here. All right, so while Liam is mixing those up, we're going to add oil and honey to that mixture. Okay, and you're going to add, let's see, 6 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Okay. Hold this here with this hand, and help Mama pour with this hand. Remember, we have to do it slowly, and we have to hold it. Nice job. 1, 2, good. Ooh. Comes after 2. Comes after 2. 3. 3, 4, good. 4, 5. And what comes after 5? 5, 6. All right, nice job, buddy. Can you mix that up? And then after, so not too fast, not too fast. Keep it in the, tell everybody, keep it in the,
Oh, out of the bowl.
not out of the bowl, in the bowl.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and then you're gonna mix the honey in. Like I said, you don't have to mix these separately, but it sometimes, it kind of helps with the mixing process afterwards.
Mom, look, you wipe your hand off.
Wipe your hand off. Here we go. Thank you, Dad. Alrighty.
Oh.
Up again. Okay, so you're gonna add your honey in. Somewhere between 1/4 and 1/3 of a cup of honey. The recipe calls for 1/4 cup. We often like it a touch sweeter, so adding a little bit more honey. Do we like honey? Yes. Who else likes honey? Honey the Pooh.
He ate all paint.
He what?
Ate all paint.
He ate Eeyore's present. Oh no, was he gonna give him honey and he ate Eeyore's present by accident because he got hungry? What in his tumbly?
I ate Dad's present.
You ate Dad's present? Oh no! A rumbly in your...
No, Mom.
No? Okay, what? So you mix in the honey and then you'll mix that all together. Just kind of blend it slightly. It's gonna be... The honey makes it heavy, so the honey will just naturally sink to the bottom. Okay, see the oil? Alrighty. And then you're gonna take your flour and you're gonna make a bit of a well in the middle. And we're gonna start off, before we pour this in, we're gonna start off with this one. Okay, can you help me pour this in? Help me pour this one in. Nice job. So you're gonna pour in your water and your yeast. And then I'm gonna pour in your honey, your oil, and your eggs. And this you can mix with a spoon. Use that spoon. Mix with a spoon. You can mix with a dough scraper. I like to use a flat spoon with this kind of stuff. A lot of times, but you can use the dough scraper. Or you can use your hands. You want to make sure you incorporate all of the flour, which is, we've got a lot of spoons going on today. But you want to make sure that you incorporate as much of the flour as possible. Ah, where are you going, dude?
To pick up some more.
And kind of keep turning the bowl as you're mixing. Just make sure everything gets well mixed in the bowl. When you're finished mixing all of this up, it should still be pretty wet and sticky. And if it feels like it's on the drier side, maybe add a little bit of water. We lost a little bit of water earlier, so maybe we'll add just a touch more water to the mixture. Otherwise it will get a bit tough. And you want to keep a lot of the elasticity in there. Even with the kneading process, you don't want to over knead it. This is a dough that if you over knead it, you will feel it fairly immediately, and you will feel it kind of in the texture of the bread afterwards too. So make sure that's really nice and soft. And when you're kneading it afterwards, you don't kind of need to knead a whole lot afterwards. But if it feels a little bit on the stickier side, you can put a little bit of flour on your surface afterwards. But it should be, I think they described it kind of almost like a smear kind of experience as you're kneading this dough. So some of the doughs that we'll work with sometimes are a bit less sticky. Hello, welcome back. Do you want to help me knead the dough?
Ate you, Penny.
You ate Dada's present? Oh no!
Yay!
Does that mean we need to get more honey?
Yeah. I asked you to go downstairs in the basement.
Downstairs in the basement? Is there more honey downstairs in the basement?
There's nobody downstairs in the basement.
Well, then you can't go down there by yourself. Can you help me? We're about to put this back into the bowl.
Nobody downstairs in the basement. Nobody. I mean, there's not downstairs in the basement. I mean, there's not downstairs in the basement. I mean, not downstairs in the basement. That means there's not the door up.
Oh, nobody's downstairs in the basement.
I can lock the door up.
Alrighty, so once you get here, you ready to help me put this back into the bowl? Can you help me put the dough back into the bowl? Come on around.
Oh, Liam cannot.
Liam cannot. I think you can. Oh, what's on there? A little bit of the oil from underneath.
Awesome. little bit of the water.
That too.
Or a little bit of the water.
Okay.
I have to dive here. I have to get diving here.
So we're going to put this back into the bowl, into the bigger mixing bowl, and give it some space to rise, especially as it gets cooler at this time of year. And if you're keeping your doors open, you definitely want to keep it in a warmer spot. We've had difficulty before. If it's too chilly inside, it takes an awful lot of time to rise. It should take about 2 hours, this next step of the process. We cover it over with a tea towel. You can cover it over with plastic or saran wrap. But we cover it over with a tea towel and we'll set it aside. We'll probably turn the oven on and put it on top of the oven just to give it a little bit of an extra boost. So see you in about 2 hours, everybody. Let's scooch you in, and we're gonna cut. Remember, where does your hand go when we're cutting? On your belly or on your lap? Okay. Okay?
Just on table.
Not on the table. Remember, it can't be on the table because that's where we're cutting. So either on your belly or on your lap. Okay? Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. I'll ask you. I'll ask you.
I'm looking at it.
Okay. All right. And then, are we ready? Let's start. We're gonna say welcome back. Welcome to the next step of this episode.
I don't do the next step of the baby.
Welcome to this next step of this episode of Baking with Babies. So we're gonna check our dough for our challah bread, and we're using our women's suffrage tea towel to celebrate the 100 years of women's suffrage. We're celebrating all sorts of cool things today. And this is from the Radical Tea Towel Company, because that's how we roll in our house. All right, our dough looks really good. All right, so it should have maybe not quite doubled in size, but it should be puffy and light. All right, so we'll take this out, and the first step of what you're going to do is you're going to cut your dough into 3 equal parts, or I should say, this, taking off our Band-Aids. We're into really decorative Band-Aids these days. So as you can see, we have changed our attire so far and added decorative Band-Aids to our arms. So we're back to basics, okay? Oh, you're giving kisses to our challah bread. So this is a really special challah bread. So thank you, sir. One of the things that's really cool with challah bread and this type of kind of softer, sweeter bread is that you can do the traditional 3-strand braid, or you can do multiple strands. And one of the things, yes, sir?
I take the little taste.
You took a little taste? Okay, that's it. No more, because there are eggs in it. So we don't taste it until it's
Nothing.
baked. Yes, baked. All right, so you can look up on King Arthur Flour's website, just a second, on King Arthur Flour's website, they have directions on how to do really fancy braids with 4 strands and 6 strands. Today we're only going to stick with the 3-strand braid, and we can work our way up. So what you want to do is you want to take your dough and kind of just lightly press down. It's okay to deflate it a little bit because it will rise up again during the next rising session after this. And you want to divide it into 3 equal parts. So can you help me with that, sir? Right, so you hold, yep, good job. Hold the knife with this hand with mama, and where does this hand go? On your lap or on your belly. Good job. Safety first. All right, so we're gonna cut through here. And you can weigh them. If you want to be really exact, you can weigh them on a measuring scale. If not, kind of like we're doing today, we're just gonna kind of eyeball it. If one of them seems a little longer than the other, then you can just add or take away a little bit of dough. Okay, yeah, this one in the middle looks like it's maybe a little bit longer. All right, good job. And if you're baking with babies, set your knife aside. And you're gonna start with the middle one? Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna set 2 of your pieces aside, and you're going to roll your dough out. And you wanna have it be about 20 inches long. And if at this point, I start roll it forward, roll it back, roll it back, roll it back. If at this point, your dough seems to be a little bit tough or more difficult to manage, and it's shrinking back, then just put it into the freezer for about 5-10 minutes and then try it again. It helps the gluten relax. Okay, I'm making holes today. All right, let's roll it. Let's roll it. Can you help me roll it? Ready? 1, 2, 3, roll it back and roll it forward. Nice job. And roll it back. All right, so you want them to be about 20 inches. So should we measure? Should we measure? Liam, do you have a measuring tape?
Yeah.
Really? Can we see it? Oh, you have it with you. Oh my goodness. How did you know this is perfect? Let's measure how long this is. All right. And oh my goodness, dude, this is just about perfect. We need just a little bit more. We're at 19 inches. Let's just do a little bit more. All right, let's try it again. Shall we measure it again? Let's try it again. All right. Oh, and we're just a little bit over now. So let's leave this one. This one's good. All right, let's roll another one. Let's set this one aside. Try another one.
I'm gonna cut with that.
We're gonna cut. We might have to cut a little bit off. We'll see. Let's roll this one first and we'll measure the next one. Here we go.
Yeah.
Roll it forward and roll it back. Roll it back. Roll. What happened? Roll it back and roll it forward. Yeah, not so many air holes. Not so many air holes. All right, roll it forward. Okay, we don't want to pinch it too much. Roll it forward and roll it back. Roll it back, and then we're gonna measure it. Here, head up. Roll it back. So this is kind of like extra fun Play-Doh because you actually get to eat it at the end.
Mommy, you ready?
Let's see if it's ready. Okay, let's see. Let's get your measuring tape. How are we doing? All right, we're looking for 2-0. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, we're a little bit over with this one too, so we're probably about even. Oh, and one more.
I need to use the big measuring tape.
You need to use the big measuring tape. Shall Mama measure this one and then you can check me? And you might feel as you're rolling these out, you can see there's kind of a fold in there, and if you're familiar with challah bread at all, that kind of, you'll see that later on, that kind of stretchy bready feel. So if you're feeling that as you're rolling it, that shouldn't be too foreign. All right, let's see how we're doing. Well, that's about good. All right, Liam, are we measuring this one with the big measuring tape? Let's measure it. Whoa, the big guns. You holding it here? Hold it here. Oh, look at that. 20 inches. Nice job, Jude. All right, are we ready to braid? Yeah, all right. So your next step, let's put the measuring tapes aside just for a moment. Let's set it up here, and we're gonna get ready to braid. Are you ready to braid? Okay. Here we are. We'll scooch these down.
I'm ready.
Okay, quite ready. We have to braid them first, okay? We have to show everybody how to braid them. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so here we are. We're ready for our braiding step, and you're gonna, once you've got 3 even pieces or relatively even pieces, you're gonna take the tops and you're going to kind of pinch them together like this, and just give them a little bit of a twist one way or the other, just to kind of anchor them a little bit. And then, can you help me out with the braid? Come here, dude. All right, I'm gonna take the right one and bring it over. Yeah. Well, we're not gonna open the freezer now. No, we're not gonna open the freezer now. Come on, can you help me with this one? Let's lift it over. It's so heavy. Can you help me? Oh my goodness, very nice. All right, so you bring the right one over and kind of scooch this one, the middle one over like that, and then the left one. This is really heavy too. Ready, ready, ready. Oh, this way, this way. Oh my goodness, nice job. And the right one again. Oh, we're not ready to cover it. We have to finish the braid. Right one. This one here. This one here. So you continue the rest of the way down here with your braid. And depending on how tight you would like your braid to be, that's kind of up to you. And if you're baking with a baby or a little guy, that may also determine how this all pans out as well. A little guy named Liam, exactly. All right, dude. You helping me out? We're almost at the end. Are you helping? Look, look, look. Can you help me with this one? This is still heavy at the end. Can you help me lift this over? Maybe.
Maybe I'm taking it up.
You're getting up? Okay. For the last little bit. Okay. This one right here. Help me lift it over. So we're going to do the left one first. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't pull it too much. Don't pull it too much. All right. This one. Because we don't want to make it too thin. Oh, nice job. All right. This one. This one, this one, this one. And lift, not too much. Just bring it over. And then the right one again. This one. Lift it over. Good. And then the left one. Nice job. And the right one again. Right one, right one. Up and over. And the left one more time. And once you get to the bottom, you're going to pinch the bottom. So this is a little bit of a longer one since we stretched it a little bit as we were going. But as you're doing this, it can be kind of a really full, fluffy braid, or it can be a longer braid. If it's something that you wind up kind of with a longer one, you can always kind of divide it in two as well. But we're going to transfer this gently over onto a floured surface or a floured board. Or another thing that the recipe suggests is that you can take a baking sheet and double it up. So 2 baking sheets and put them together. And then take a sheet of lined parchment and line the baking sheet with those as well. And we have baking stones, so we're going to bake these on our baking stones, but if you don't have baking stones, just put the pan directly into the oven. All right, so gently lift this up. And then you're going to get ready for this to rise a second time. And because ours is longer, we might kind of put this on a little bit of an angle at the minute. All right, and then you're going to cover it again, and this should take about 1.5 hours to 2 hours for this next rising session. Hello, sir. Alrighty, is it time? Is it time to cover it with our tea towel? Can you help us? Ready? You've been waiting for this moment. Here we are. You get that end, I'll get this end. Gently cover it. Very nice. All right. Very good, Jude. Say, we'll see you in just a little bit.
I'm walking there. I'm walking there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody. Ready for our next step of our challah bread. And you're getting our egg wash ready, mixing it up. So we're going to prepare an egg wash to go over the challah bread to give it that kind of extra, the classic extra shiny finish, and just like beautiful brown shine at the end. And so Liam is at the moment mixing up 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of cold water. So you mix that up until it's pretty smooth and even. And then we're going to brush it or paint it on our challah bread that has been rising for the past 2 hours. Should we check it out? Yeah, should we check it out? Can you help me? Let's move this out of the way and scooch this down. All right, Eddie, you get this. You get this. I'll get that. Right, 1, 2, 3. Oh my. Okay, we don't want to poke it too much. We have to be very gentle. Looking good. All righty.
Mama, may I paint it?
You may paint it. So if you have little guys, this is an extra fun way to practice painting skills. Alrighty, are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, and so we want to dip it in, and then you want to brush it lightly. So not too hard, but brush it lightly over, but you want to make sure that you coat all of the sides, because anything that you don't coat is going to still have just a rough finish, which is perfectly fine. It will still taste really nice, but if you want it to have that kind of shiny, glossy look consistently across, you want to make sure you coat all the nooks and crannies. Yeah. And what color are we painting this?
Yellow.
Yellow. Yes, indeed. You know me.
Mama can.
Mama do it for now?
Yeah.
I'll do some and then Liam will do some. Okay, this is rising nicely. So it depends on the temperature outside, how quickly bread will rise and how it interacts with the yeast.
Dada.
This has taken us about 2 hours.
Dada, you got the peanut and keep you nice and warm.
What, nice and warm?
Nice and little.
Nice and little. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, so here we go. We're finished painting our bread. Are you ready to put it in the oven?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to scooch you back a little bit. And scooch the table back as well. We have kind of a tiny kitchen, so even if you have a tiny kitchen, you can do great things. All right, bud. So we have baking stones in here. And as I said before, you can have it just on kind of a doubled up cookie sheet. And we're going to move this over. It's a little heavy, and one of the things, if you are transferring it, one of the things to watch out for is that once you put it on, because the egg wash is on it, it will get stuck. So however you're putting it on, this way, straight on or kind of angled, you want to have, it's going to be where it's going to stay. So we're going to move it this way. Scooch it in. And sometimes it's easier than others. You want to try and transfer it over as gently as possible so that you don't disturb the rise of the bread itself. All right, that looks pretty good. And you're going to have preset, I forget to mention it before, 375 degrees Fahrenheit is where you want to preset your oven. And you're going to check it after about 20 minutes. It says bake time for around 30 in total, but you're going to check it around 20 minutes. And if you like the golden color on the top, you might take it out and just make sure everything feels like it's set. If it does, then you may not need to leave it in much longer. If it feels like it's not quite set or is still a little light, put it back in for a couple minutes at a time, but you might want to put tin foil over it so it doesn't get too hard because the outside will brown pretty quickly and get pretty tough pretty quickly. So you keep an eye on it from kind of 20 to 30 minutes if you're putting it back in, and kind of tent it with tin foil. So good luck, everybody. Happy baking. We'll see you when we check it out. Say we'll see you in just a bit. See you in just a bit, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this next step of episode of Baking with Babies. We're going to check our challah bread in the oven. Thank you very much. All right, dude, do you want to come stand over here? Let's come stand over here and Mama will see how we're doing. All right, let's check it. Ready, ready? Oh my, Liam. It looks wonderful. It looks absolutely wonderful. It's lovely brown golden color and everything feels like it's set. Let's get, whoops, they're right here, but let's get our cooling rack over here to help us. Wonderful. Okay, we'll bring it right over here. Liam, are you going to help me test out the back of it? Make sure that the bread is ready? Alrighty, so one of the classic ways to tell that a loaf of bread is finished is to tap the bottom of the bread. And obviously this is still pretty hot. Are we going to tap it and check? Okay, tap the bottom. What do you think, dude? Oh, and it should have a hollow sound, so that sounds and looks perfect. Nice job. So one of the hardest things when you're making bread with yeast, okay, watch your fingers, but one of the hardest things that you have to do when you make bread with yeast is that you have to wait a while and let it cool all the way down, or else it actually changes the taste of the bread itself. So you don't want to, as much as you'd like to try and taste it right away, you don't want to spoil the effect by eating it too quickly. So do yourself a favor, let it cool down the full way, and then taste it when it has fully cooled down. Trust me on this one, as hard as it is, wait the full extra hour. So best of luck, everybody, and happy baking. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the end of this episode of Baking with Babies. And what do we have left to do? We baked some beautiful challah bread for Rosh Hashanah. And what do we have to do? We have to eat it. So shall we try some? Yeah, and the traditional way to eat challah bread is to take a piece off. So you don't cut it, you take a piece off, so rip a piece off. Ready? Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Ah, nice job. Can I try some? Is that yummy? Cheers. Cheers. Can you say Hashanah Tova? Try it again. Hashanah Tova, everybody.
Hashanah Tova, everyone.